Good afternoon, everybody. This is Julie with Book of Hours. It is 2:10 here in San Francisco, California. And the building that you're looking at is actually the church that I am a member of. This is the side of it. I wanted to show you the stained glass on the side. The front of the building is really pretty too, and of course there's a muni bus right there. So anybody who lives in the city that wants to come to this church for events or on Sunday, they can just take the bus. There's a couple of buses that stop right in front of it. It's called Calvary Presbyterian Church, and I identify as a Presbyterian. So this is the church, and you can see that these are the stained glass. And of course, during the day when you're inside the church and you're listening to the service, it's really beautiful to see these lovely, simplistic stained glass pieces lit up from the sunshine. It's really pretty. And then they also light them up a little bit at night as well. So the neighborhood that I am in is called Pacific Heights, and we're just going to take a little walk as we talk. So it's called Pacific Heights. It's considered one of the most wealthy neighborhoods in the city of San Francisco. And the thing about San Francisco and Pacific Heights is that it's maintained its wealth. So since I moved here as an adult in 1993 on my own, Pacific Heights was always this kind of wealthy neighborhood that nobody ever really could afford to live in. Most of the people that live here, they own their own homes. It's pretty centrally located. Just like a block or two over is a street called Pacific, which then when you're standing at the corner of like Pacific and let's see, what would that be? Pacific and Fillmore, you look down over the edge and it's a straight shot down into the bay. There's helicopters overhead for some reason, which is, not uncommon when you live in a city, right? Just going to try to make it a little bigger so you can see some of the houses. But and then here's a tall building. But anyway, so I'm headed up to a little tiny park in the neighborhood called Altaplaza Park, and it's about a block away from my church. So we're just walking along here in the sunshine. I'm on the shady side of the street. It's kind of a warm day, so I thought I would walk on the shadier side, where of course it's windy, because we are very close to the bay, so we'll get that strong bay wind coming up the hills of San Francisco. So that's a pretty common occurrence. I've done other podcasts where I've had to speak to you through through large gusts of wind, and it's challenging to be heard and understood when you've got all this wind hitting your microphone. But I wanted to keep in, and so here's the park. You can see that it's when you go up, it's hilly. I'm at Steiner right now, Steiner and Jackson. You can see off onto the distance, you can see sailboats, maybe not, but I promise you they're there. I don't want to be taking video of streets when cars are trying to cross. But here I go up into Alta Plaza Park, and it's pretty hilly, but it's really fun. You get some great views. The challenge, I think, today to see a view would be because of all the smoke from the North Bay fires. So if you look off into the distance, maybe when I get up a little bit higher, you'll be able to see it. But there's been some really bad fires here in Northern California, which has caused the air quality in San Francisco to plummet. I mean, when JP and I opened our windows the other day, or when we woke up the other day, we usually sleep with the windows open to get fresh air in. There was a little bit of ash over our countertops and, on our sink and things like that. And that tells me that the ash from the wind has been carried into San Francisco, making the the air quality here really bad. So it's super hazy out, and that is because of the fires. So you can, usually when you're up in Altaplaza Park, you can see kind of a cool view. But maybe not so much today. So we'll just look at some pretty trees, some really thick trees. And so one thing that's cool about San Francisco is that wherever you are in this city, you can walk 10 minutes and you will be at a city park. And it'll be a really cool park. Usually there's like tennis courts. There's usually a place for children to play on structures. There's swing sets, slides, and of course there's pretty much always a view, no matter what park you go to. Of course, the biggest park in the city is Golden Gate Park. And there's lots to do there. There's a carousel that I rode as a small child. So I'll take this path up here under the trees and take you through this little tree-lined walkway. And the tennis courts are to my right. And to my left is Pacific Heights. This is just a little park, with little benches for people to sit on. It's usually pretty quiet during the day. It's kind of a quiet little secret park because it's one of the smaller ones. It's not as popular as Golden Gate Park, which is this huge expanse of wilderness and curated lawns. There's lawn bowling, there's carousels, there's places to play frisbee golf. It's just like this super fun big park in San Francisco, and it's about Golden Gate Park, of course, is about a 15-minute bike ride from my apartment. So sadly, because of the fires, it's super hazy out, so I don't know how much people are going to see. But I did want to take you up to Altaplaza, and let's sneak around over here to the front of the tennis courts and see if we can get a better view. So I absolutely love this city, and despite going through some serious traumatic experiences regarding, the narcissistic abuse from my family, the fact is that I am very lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones, actually. There are a lot of people that have suffered narcissistic abuse that cannot recover, and their lives are deeply affected, and they become suicidal, and they become injured, and they keep finding themselves in places where cycles of abuse keep continuing. And I have been very lucky to find a city that's so beautiful, where I can find restoration and love of friends and love of a future husband, where I can come to a park and look out over this beautiful, wonderful city, and just really find the strength within myself to persevere and to move through these challenging discoveries that I found about my family of origin. And I just wanted to sort of give just a giant thank you to the city of San Francisco for being such a restorative city. Of course, to JP, my fiance, for being so wonderful. Oh, look, there's a cute little doggy. And just giving me the freedom to express myself and go through this process. Because a lot of people don't even understand that they are scapegoats of narcissists. A lot of people don't even realize the challenges that they're facing are at the very hands of some very destructive people who want nothing more than to use you as a supply. So, a lot of people don't make those discoveries, so they continue to live their life, not understanding why they always seem to be in victim mode. And, it took me a long time too, but I finally realized, here's some doggies playing. I don't know if you can see them. Little poochies. But one of the best things that you can do for yourself as you're going through this process and you are making these discoveries about yourself and you are doing the very brave, very scary thing, which is to go no contact. One of the best things that you can do is get outside and walk around. Don't let this anxiety and this misery and this terrible discovery that you've made about your role in the family as the scapegoat, don't let that keep you from enjoying what your world around you has to offer. Just step outside your front door and enjoy life. Yes, it's a little bit sad. I had visions of being able to come up here with my family during my wedding weekend. I specifically envisioned this park because it's so quiet and it's so peaceful and it's so away from the craziness of the touristy areas. I thought that, the entire family would like to come, and it's a very easy walk. Once you get up the hill, it's pretty flat all the way around. And I figured, that JP's parents and my mom and my family and siblings and their spouses and the children could run around here safely without worry of traffic, and that it would be this wonderful, wonderful thing. I don't know if you can see this little bird down here. Cute little sparrow, I think, or finch or something. I don't know if you can see it, but I just, and it's of course it's very sad. It's very heartbreaking that they won't be here to experience, this wonderful, beautiful city that has, been so amazing. It's so restorative and it's so beautiful. It's considered one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Here's an awesome playground for the children. Again, there's 7 little nieces and nephews that could have come and come onto this playground and played and enjoyed the facility and, swung on the swings and played in the playhouse and all these things that I had envisioned for my wedding. And sadly, none of it's going to happen. And it's all because I had asked to be treated with respect. And it's all because I diagnosed my position in the family of origin as that of scapegoat. And they sure didn't like that. They don't like to be diagnosed now, do they? So it's very sad, and I'm having to deal with that sadness and that depression over it. You get your hopes up, you want to think that something is going to happen a certain way, and then next thing you know, it's not, and you're just kind of left going, whoa, what happened? I'm getting married. It's supposed to be a weekend of beauty and fun and love and all that wonderful stuff that has to do with marriages and families coming together and meeting each other and really just making a new connection, making new friends, making new family, and none of it's going to happen. And it's all because people have imagined or incorrect ideas about me. They have imagined defenses. They've created, the narcissist has created imagined defenses inside other people that just don't exist. They just don't exist. And it's really sad how much the children and the families are going to miss out. I could easily see, the children enjoying this amazing, state-of-the-art play structure, looking out over this gorgeous view. And, there's beautiful benches in over here to sit at to watch them. It's a perfectly safe, lovely, high-end neighborhood that's very close to where I live, It's really sad because I really, really believed that this was going to happen. I believed it like I've never believed anything. And it turns out it's actually not going to happen, And it's I keep saying over and over again how sad it is, how sad this discovery is. It's just incredible. So, but that can't take away from the fact that I'm one of the lucky ones. Imagine if I was going through all of this, if I was going through this terrible process where I was learning all of these terrible truths about the people I'm related to. And I had to do it in I don't know, Kentucky or, Missouri or some terrible place where there's no beauty, there's no love, there's no restorativeness in the city around me. I mean, who knows? Knowing me, I probably would find it and seek it out because that's just the kind of person I am, being an empath. But I have to say that if I am going to have to go through a very dark, depressing process and realize that my entire family is going to miss out on something really wonderful, well, then it may as well be here. It may as well be in the most beautiful city in the world. That's really what I have to say. So the fires, like I said, have just ravaged the North Bay. The wine country is really, really deeply affected by this. Lots of wineries have been burnt up. Lots of homes have been burnt up. I have a friend in Santa Rosa. Thank goodness he was able to reach back to me and tell me he and his little critters were fine. I was so worried about him. He's actually my ex, and that shows you what kind of person I am, that my ex and I can maintain a positive and healthy connection despite the fact that it didn't work out for us romantically. That should be able to tell you something about my personality. And I think that's actually normal. I think that's pretty normal that if you have an ex-boyfriend or an ex-fiance, you should be able to maintain a friendship and a connection with them on some level. Because you shared so many experiences with them and you actually grew while you knew them as well. So, I just absolutely love this little play area. I think it's just perfect. I think it's gorgeous, and the look at how big it is too. I mean, they really just put a lot of energy into rebuilding it out and making it really fun for the children. So yeah, this is Altaplaza Park. It's not a very popular one, believe it or not. It's kind of like tucked away, but that's how San Francisco parks are. They just kind of pop up on you, and suddenly you have a beautiful view of the city, the surrounding city all around you, and you have a beautiful park for the children to run around and play on equipment. And you have lots and lots of benches, lots of options for people to sit down and take a load off, and lots of room for dogs to run around. It's just one of the best parks in the city, in my opinion. Possibly even better than the park that's near my house, which is across the street from where I live, which is Alamo Square Park, which is the one that all of the tourists go to because of the painted ladies that sit on the side of the hill. And I've shown I've done many podcasts from that view. So I will go ahead and end this podcast now, and I just appreciate all of your support and for joining me on this journey of discovery. You can follow us on YouTube, Book of Hours. You can also follow my Path to Personal Discovery on the Book of Hours YouTube channel. You can just choose the playlist. I am so appreciative of the friends and the support that I do have here in San Francisco, and I just wanted to share this little park with you before I sign off. Thank you for joining me today. This is Julie with Book of Hours.